Hello, my name is Rashonda Franklin, and today I would like to talk about acceptance of others. The general purpose is to encourage you to find understanding with one another. As we accept one another for who we are, tensions due to our differences will diminish. Acceptance is the key to living in harmony. Change slide, please. Acceptance is imperative. Women grab their purse when they're on the elevator, when they feel uncomfortable with someone around them. A man looks at a woman with disgust because they're of different ethnicities. A boy walks down the street with a hood on his head and he gets shot to death from unacceptance and fear. Why is this? Fear and unacceptance is not limited to our skin. Now, with all the religious differences, we also find that there is an epidemic of racism. Change slide, please. Acceptance is the key to living in harmony. I come from a blended family. We all have experienced racism on some level. As we have family reunions, at our cookouts, friends and onlookers usually are confused by the multicultural awareness that is in our presence, as well as the sexual differences of preference in our gatherings as well. Change slide, please. According to Hate Crimes 2012, 48.5% of victims are targeted because of the offender's bias against their race. Again, that's Hate Crimes 2012. Acceptance starts with knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. We will begin with why knowledge is so important in this process of acceptance. Then we'll progress on to understanding and how understanding can allow for acceptance. Lastly, we will explore forgiveness and how it forces us to live freely and love one another due to our acceptance. Acceptance is the key to living in harmony. Change slide, please. Knowledge of our differences can only make us better. Once we gain knowledge from what we do not know, fear subsides and we no longer react to our emotions. Fear occurs as a response to something which is perceived as being threatening, dangerous, or harmful. Boulder Psychologist, 2017. Nobody likes to feel fearful, but it is a negative and unpleasant emotion. Boulder Psychologist, 2017. Increased knowledge will decrease our fears. Many of our fears are caused by ignorance because people are scared of what they don't know. Boulder Psychologist, 2017. In order to stand the best chance of overcoming your fears, you need to find out as much as you can about what really truly causes your fear. This way, you'll be able to make a reaction on the basis of complete rather than incomplete information. Boulder Psychologist, 2017. Overcome your fear with exposure therapy. There's two types of exposure therapy: immediate exposure therapy and gradual exposure therapy techniques. With the immediate exposure technique, you will expose yourself immediately and in a high intensity to whatever fears you. Gradual exposure technique, which is the recommended technique, is a gradual exposure to those things that fear you. So you have small series, but they range in intensity higher and higher until your fear has been decreased. Change slide, please. After obtaining knowledge and facing your fears, you will be led to understanding and acceptance of your differences. Understanding is the gateway to acceptance. Understanding allows mental and social growth. Understanding is a psychological process related to abstract and physical objects such as a person, situation, or message, whereby one is able to think about it and use the concepts to deal with it adequately to the object that fears them. Dr. Fisher, Psychology Today, 2014. Tolerance and acceptance are relevant for getting along with one another in the world, but understanding is essential for social behaviors. Dr. Fisher, Psychology Today, 2014. Ensure you have the proper knowledge and understanding, then acceptance is sure to follow. When you judge something, find a reliable source to learn more about the subject. Read Huffington Post, 2011. Change your mind when it gets trapped in a confirmation bias. This will limit your existence, and it doesn't allow you to grow with your understanding. Read Huffington Post. Understanding breeds into acceptance. Acceptance is an act of trust. One must trust the other person in order to get understanding. Tiny Buddha, 2017. Acceptance does not mean that we are accepting damaging behavior. Only on the contrary, we are actually getting the knowledge to acknowledge what is dark and light in that person, and we make the necessary changes for our acceptance. Knowledge and can you change the slide, please? Knowledge, understanding, acceptance are areas of great assets, but without forgiveness, we will remain unchanged. Forgiveness is a powerful tool. Forgiveness is when we let go of our resentments, ill will, complaints, and bitterness, and other negative feelings towards someone or something that we fear or that's hurt us. In order to forgive, we need to learn to deal with our primitive feelings, like intense fear, which leads us to an balance of anxiety and a sense of resentment, which also turns into aggression rather than a healthy reaction. Huffington, read 2011. God calls us to forgive as well. I have learned that forgiveness is not only for the other person, but it is for me even more. Matthew 6:15 states, "But if you don't forgive others of their sins, your Father will not forgive you of your sins." Luke 6:37, "Don't judge and don't judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven." Change slide, please. In conclusion, it all boils down to the old cardinal rule: treat others how you want to be treated. We all have some form of bias, but when we gain knowledge and understanding of what we don't know, we can experience the freedom of forgiveness. Knowledge allows acceptance by decreasing our fear of what we do not know. Understanding the truth about one another allows for meaningful acceptance of our differences. Forgiveness is the true power that allows us to live freely. Acceptance is the key to living in harmony. Acceptance is the willingness to let go of your emotional oppositions to the reality of what truly is. Huffington Post, 2011. As we gain knowledge and understanding of who and what other cultures truly represent, we will find that we all have commonalities between us. Forgiveness frees us from the emotional burden, and it allows us to love one another without bias, fear, and to live together in harmony. Thank you very much.